like Clark, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
What is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering where I've been, and basically what happened was I was just grinding a ton for FNCS and trying to make the grand finale or finals or whatever it's called. And honestly, it's never happened before, but after, I guess, grinding 10, 12 hours a day for like 3 weeks straight, kind of got to me a little bit, and I did get a little bit burnt out. So I'm taking a week from Fortnite and everything like that, and well, I did take a week from everything. Just wanted to kind of chill, hang out with my friends, whatever like that, go to the gym, stuff like that, just kind of take a break, set my mind back up, get focused again, and start grinding again. So I just did decide to take a week break, and I think that was best for me. And hopefully now I can get right back into the grinding and just everything is good. So hopefully, I apologize for missing you guys or for not uploading anything like that. But in today's video, I'm going to have a banger back for you guys just to get back going. And it's basically how to improve in general in Fortnite. I've made a video like this before, and it's just very generic answers on how to get better. But a lot of people tend to forget them or only do like a couple of these. But yeah, basically I'm going to go in depth and help you guys improve in Fortnite no matter what skill level you are. Trust me, this will help. Now let's get right into today's video. Make sure you hit that like button, comment what you want to see for a future video, and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into it. So the first tip, and this is a pretty obvious tip, but don't worry, I will go more in depth into it, is you gotta start practicing more. Now, I understand if you're already playing 8, 9 hours a day and you're just grinding as much as possible, or right after school you play 6 hours a day, whatever the case is, then this tip's not for you, but the second tip will be. Don't worry about that. But if you're only playing like an hour or 2 hours a day, you can still expect to see some improvement and you can still definitely get pretty good. But if you really want to make it to the top and you really want to be that much better than your friends or other people you're playing against, or start doing better in the cash cups, etc., you're going to have to put in more time. So unfortunately, if you're playing sports, if you're going to school, you have a job as well, stuff like that, everything kind of adds up, and you only have an hour or two to play, well, unfortunately, you're not going to improve as quick as some people, and it's going to definitely be a lot harder for you. So you kind of basically got to decide, or time management is a very big key in people's lives. You got to figure out how to play a little bit more time. Now, I'm not saying you should give up sports or give up a job. Obviously, those things are really, really important. But if you do want to improve, you got to start time managing and putting a little bit more time into practicing. So now my next tip is actually what to practice, and basically practicing makes perfect. So basically what that kind of goes along is, when I say basically just practice more or whatever, some people think that like that means just go into a pub or just do one edit course for like 10 minutes and then an aim drill in creative for 10 minutes and then play pubs the rest of the day, or play arena, or do 10 minutes of Kovacs or whatever the case is, right? But basically, again, this comes back to time management, where you have to put in your time to specific indicators of your gameplay. So basically, for example, let's say you need to work on your aim, or whatever happens, or you feel like you need to work on your building, or you just feel like you're a generally decent player but you need to improve in general, and let's say you have 3 hours to play, right? So what you need to do, instead of just playing 10 minutes of Kovacs, 10 minutes of edit courses, and then going in a game, you need to be putting way more time into practicing out of game, which I know seems kind of weird, but trust me, playing more time in out of game scenarios will help you so much more. So instead of playing 20 minutes of mechanic practice, like again, edit courses and aim courses, maybe spend like an hour on that, and maybe only an hour on pubs, and then an hour of playing customs or arena or something like that, right? You got to break in your time to figure out what's best for you. If you have 8 hours, it's a lot easier. You can do 30 to 45 minutes of aim practice, 30 to 45 minutes of editing, 30 to 45 of pubs, whatever squads, an hour of arena, hour of customs, and whatever the case is, right? And try switching things up. Don't just do the same edit course every single day for 2 months straight. Try different edit courses. Try doing a different aim map here or there. Instead of playing pubs one day, try solo squad, stuff like that, right? You want to switch things up. You don't want to go through the same routine over and over again, because you'll find yourself improving slower as if you went to change things up and do a different edit courses, because it's going to be a different scenario each time. Well, then you're going to improve a lot quicker. So my next tip, and I talk about this so much, and I'm sure if you guys watch my videos a lot, you know, is a VOD review. Now I'm going to break this down into two different parts, but the first one is VOD reviewing your own gameplay. So I don't recommend VOD reviewing like your solo pub games or something like that. You can do arenas sometimes if I feel like I died and I don't really understand what I did wrong or something like that. I will clip my arena game and figure out what I do wrong and then write it down for future. Or the biggest thing right now that I like doing is either customs or your solo cash cups. And a lot of you guys might be like, okay, well, the solo cash cups aren't even that good. And yes, that is true. They are not that good, but they can still, basically, you still should be trying your hardest to do well, right? So if you're still dying, you're still trying your hardest, so there's still a reason you died, and you can definitely VOD review that and figure out what you did wrong. So normally what I do is just clip the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever, look up to how I died. Did I miss my shots? Did I put myself in a bad scenario? Did I take a bad third party? Did I get sniped? Whatever happened, right? Sometimes you can't control, but 99.8% of scenarios, you did something wrong that ended up you dying. Like if you got sniped, well, should you have been rotating behind a hill? Or should you have been paying more attention where other people were, etc., etc., right? And then I just normally like to write them down so I remember it, because if you just look at the video and kind of forget about it, well, you're not really going to remember it and you're not really going to fix your problems, right? Now the next step, and this is kind of the second part, is VOD reviewing other people. So most likely I'd say pro players. And I was actually watching an interview on, I think it was Mike Tyson, and it's actually it was very interesting to me. He basically said, I'm sure a lot of you guys, or almost all of you guys know who he is, but he's a professional boxer, one of the best of all time, and he basically said that during school or whatever, whenever he got home, if he wasn't boxing or if he wasn't training, he would literally just watch professional boxers fight for like 5-6 hours a day, because obviously you can't train every single hour if you're doing physical sports. Because obviously your body can't really handle it. But he says for the rest of the time, he would literally just be watching over professional players or professional boxers, figuring out how they do it, how they like do a left hook or whatever the case is, right? How they move, stuff like that, and just taking notes and learning so he could replicate it in his own fighting style. And this kind of goes back to Fortnite. You can do the same thing. Pro players talk about it all the time, VOD reviewing each other. They're pros and they still watch each other's gameplay because you can always learn more. You can always put their gameplay into yours. And like I say so much, there's a reason that those players are at the top in the world. There's a reason Booga won the World Cup and Mongrel's so consistent and Benji's so consistent. So if you can learn what they're doing and put it into your own gameplay, well then technically you should be as consistent. Now the next tip I'm going to give, and this is a big one, is play with better players with whatever you're doing. So this can be whether you're playing squads, try and play with better players. If you're doing box fights, if you're doing it against your friend who's not very good, who you win almost 8 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to be improving that much, right? You might feel good, you might get your confidence up a little bit, which is fine, that's not a big deal. But if you just consistently do the same person or box fight or 1v1 the same person over and over again, well, you're not going to be improving that much, right? What I like to do is look in Discord, like Mayhem West for me, or Atlantis Scrims if you're on East, or I don't know the EU Discords, but whatever. You get my point, is look for people to box fight every single day. Maybe if you have one really close friend, yeah, box fight him every single day or every couple days, just because it's fun playing with someone you know, and whatever the case is, I understand that completely. But try your best to find new people who you haven't box fought before or 1v1 before, and try and actually like challenge yourself. Like if they're really good, try your best to beat them. If they're beating you, again, this kind of goes back to the VOD review, figure out what they're doing that's beating you. Are they quicker at editing? Do they do this cool high ground retake or crazy 90s? Or do they do this edit? Or do they phase through the ramp when they box fight you and then shoot you when you're not expecting it? So again, you can just learn from them. They don't have to be pro players for you to learn from them, but if they are better than you, then you can always learn from them and put them into your own gameplay. You don't really have to write it down or anything like that, but just try and keep it in your mental memory and be like, oh, well, he did a crazy 90 here, or a cool side jump that I wasn't expecting. Well, then you do it in your own gameplay, and basically then, again, you will just continue to improve. Also, if you play with better players, don't just, like, if they're telling you, hey, like, man, like, maybe don't go for that peak or something like that if you're going to get sniped or something, right? Because if you just don't listen to anyone, you're not going to get better. If the better player, even someone who's just the same skill level as you, makes a suggestion, actually listen to it. Don't just say whatever, I'm better than you, or whatever, I don't really care. Listen to it. Playing with these squads and playing with FNCS, when I've been playing with kids who are as good as me, if not better, I've realized that I'm not as good as I thought, and I realized I do make some very easy mistakes that shouldn't be happening, and they call me out on it, and then I learn from it, and I become a better player because of it. So now my last tip, and this is a big one, is don't spread yourself too thin. Now I know people like Mongrel, for example, make his warm-up video, or Bizzle, and people will try or will practice creative for like an hour and a half, but they're only going to do 5 minutes of each little thing because they want to practice side jumps, they want to practice editing, they want to practice the phasing, they want to practice so many things, right? Tunneling, where it just becomes an abundance, right? So instead of practicing 5 minutes for an hour every little small thing, like a box fight or a specific edit or something, try only doing like 4 things or 3 things in that hour and perfecting it. Spend 25 minutes practicing your phasing through walls. Spend 25 minutes practicing your tunneling, whatever the case is, right? Split it out and put more time into practicing that specific move until you perfect it. And then once you perfect those 3, then you move on to the next 3 and over again. Because trust me, you will get them way, way quicker. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.